Hi guys. Happy Father's Day weekend to all the dads out there. Um, Dads sort of get a bad rap in literature and TV and movies. And it sort of drives me crazy because I love my dad. He's the best. And we have this amazing relationship with each other, and he's always been a really great example to me and a big support of anything I wanted to do. He said, as long as you do your best, that's all I expect of you ever. And in some ways that even motivated me to do better than I might have, because I wanted to give my best for him to make him proud. And he's been like one of my biggest advocates as I pursued this writing career. He is just, I think he's proud of me. I would like to think so. And so here he is. That's my dad right there. Isn't he cute? I love my dad. When thinking about dads in books and stuff, one of my favorite father characters is not actually a dad per se, but I love Matthew Cuthbert in Anne of Green Gables. He's the one that first convinced them that they could adopt her and take her in and have her living with them. And he was the one that's just silently supported her and loved her all through that book so that she could gain the confidence that she needed to do her best. And so I love him. Of course, I love the dads in like all of the Jane Austen books, but they're more silly. And they don't really run the roost in those books as much as the women do, so they're not really realistic to me. And then in my books, I just try to make the dads supportive of their daughters and children, and there when they need them, but also they stand back enough to let their children have some independence, because that's the way I was raised. I was raised, you stay here as long as you need to, and then you leave. So that's what we did. Like, we've never lived with our parents since we got married, and at one point we were living like 15 hours away from any of our family. So it's a really good thing to do for your marriage, because it makes you learn to support each other. But I could only do that because that's the way my parents raised me. They raised me to go out and make a life on my own. And now that that we are parents, I think my husband is an amazing dad. That was probably the hardest part of when we were having so many problems trying to get pregnant and everything, was I felt like I was letting him down because I couldn't give him that dream that we had of being parents. And he was actually the first one to see the positive pregnancy test with our daughter, who was our firstborn, and he was in shock. He just sat down and like he couldn't even believe it for 3 or 4 days. And then the second time, I was the one in shock because we were not trying to get pregnant at that time. So it's just been a really fun adventure. But it's really great to see him playing with the kids and, doing family Bible time every night with them and teaching them how to pray, teaching them to love God, and just showing them what a father should be, what a husband should be. And so I hope that I can bring some of that into all of my guy characters in my books, because I have so many great examples in my life, and I know not everybody does, and that makes me very sad, because I would love for everybody to have the great guys in their life that I have. But anyway, I am very excited about this Father's Day weekend because we are actually going to have both of our dads here. My daughter's graduating preschool, and so all of our parents are coming in for the weekend. And it's going to be the first time since I got married that I'm going to see my dad on Father's Day. So it's pretty exciting. We're going to have banana pudding. Yay! So happy Father's Day to all of you out there. And I would love to hear some of your favorite book dads, because I'm sure that you can think of even more than I did. So, bye guys.
Hey everybody. I just got back from the Kentucky Christian Writers Online Conference that our local writing group decided to do, kind of like a regular conference, and we all met together and had fun, went to the workshops and things like that. But I didn't want the weekend to get away from me without wishing you guys a happy Father's Day. I hope that your weekend is full of all sorts of activities to celebrate the fathers in your life, even though I know it probably looks a little different than you're used to. Maybe you usually go out to eat, and I know at our state you can't do that right now unless you want to eat outside, and I've heard it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so that'll take that off the table. But whatever your Father's Day celebration looks like this year, I hope you have a good one. I hope your fathers in your life, whether it's your husband, your dad, your children's dad, whatever, they all have a great Father's Day. And just like we did at Mother's Day, we want to take a minute to celebrate fathers. And in my books, Katie has a strong relationship with her father. He is her rock. He's the one that goes between her and her mother a lot of times and helps with the friction there. And he's the one who Katie can go to for help anytime she needs it. And I was really blessed to have a father like that in my life that I could go to, and if I needed help with something, if I needed we didn't have this exact same kind of relationship because he wasn't the one that I usually went to talk things through. But if I needed him for something, if I needed my car door unlocked, which honestly, I was always locking my keys in my car. Even the day of my ACTs, I locked my keys in my car and my dad had to come get them out. It was a regular thing. He knew if I was calling, he probably needed to come up and get my car keys out of my car. So anytime I needed anything like that, even now, he's there to help out when we have something go wrong with our cars, because he works on cars, or if there's something at the house that we're not sure how to fix, we can call and he tells us how to take care of it. So I was blessed with a dad who guided me in that way, helped me in that way, but he also served as a good Christian example. He was a pastor. That didn't make him a good Christian example, because we all know there are some pastors out there that are not good examples of Christ. But my father was, and he is someone who always lives out his faith in a very quiet way, but a consistent way, and that was good for me. So even though my dad isn't exactly like Katie's dad in the books, that's where I got the idea for the kind of person I wanted in her life. And there are a lot of books I've read that have really good father figures in them, ones that train up their children, ones that pray for their children, ones that show good leadership in the home, and take that role in the house of being the leader without being a tyrant, and the ones that consistently care for their families. And I'm not saying that they're perfect. There's a lot of them that they fail. My dad failed at times. We all fail at times. But to be able to get up and say, yeah, I was wrong in that, and now we're going to go forward, and will you forgive me? And that's a powerful thing. So I always like fathers like that in the books that I read, and it always makes me a little sad to see the fathers who don't get it, the fathers who are overprotective to the point of a fault, and the ones who push their children in directions that their children were never meant to go in, or those who are just absent. But we know there are those as well, and So I really like I like books that do have that figure in them, because we do need to know God is that kind of a father, and there are so many out there in our world that don't have God as that strong, capable, loving, never going to stop loving you father. And it hurts to think that there are times and there are people that have experienced such horrible times with their fathers that when they try and think of God as a father, it's really hard to make that jump that there is a different kind of father out there. And so I think that's one place where I've really enjoyed Christian literature, because a lot of times you have that good example of what a godly father is, and a good example of who God our Father is through that earthly example. And so whether you are celebrating a biological dad, a stepfather, maybe a foster father, whatever it happens to be in how your family's set up, take time to look at the good things, take time to celebrate the good things, pray for them. That's one of the best things we can do for our fathers and husbands and our children's fathers. And help them be that godly example of what a father is and who our Father God is. So I hope you have a great weekend celebrating the dads in your life. And I don't mean to leave out those dads that, maybe your own father, biological, stepfather, foster father, adoptive father, maybe it wasn't a good example, but maybe you did have a good, strong male example from your church or your school or some kind of youth group that served as that father, grandfather figure to you. Don't forget to celebrate them as well. They pour the same love into you that they would for a child of their own, and that makes a huge difference in our lives. So celebrate those people, enjoy those people, and however you can this weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.